Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. 2 million copies sold in its first day. 84 on Metacritic. 9 out of 10 on IGN.
9 out of 10 on IGN.
Does it answer one simple question? Is the game any fun? This game came out 13 years ago. Made by this company. Where honestly 13 years ago, you would look at these guys and you know, you'd have some type of respect. You'd have some type. And I know what you're probably thinking, like, one of those games doesn't belong there. Yes it does. This game was peak. So Black Flag Resynced. A lot of pros, a couple cons. As I was playing this week, I wrote down some of the things I like and I didn't like on the post-it note. Got a little wet in the process. Don't remember how. Don't want to ask too many questions. The weather system. Ooh, the weather system. This game, the overall weather, the overall aesthetic of this game is phenomenal. I mean, what more? I mean, I don't mean to glaze the game, but look at this. Dude, like, I mean, I'm no by any means, I am no weather expert, weather man, but listen, when you're out there sailing in the high seas, you know, the flag is being hung, shanties are being sung, and the waves are flowing and the wind is blowing, and then you look off into the horizon and then like the sun is setting with like that like pink, orange, purple like type of vibe and it's like setting. Dude, it brought me back to like 12 years old, like sitting in the living room in the middle of the night playing this game when I'm not supposed to. Like, what more could you ask for from a Ubisoft game? Like, who would have thought? Honestly, I would have thought they would have found a way to mess this up. Alright, moving on. Combat. Now, combat is a different story. For the first couple hours of the game, I hated this combat. I could not, for the life of me, I could not get the hang of it. To be fair, I did mark hard difficulty, but I do that in most games, so
I'm gonna flex, but I do that in most games.
So I didn't think it was a difficulty issue. I genuinely, I just couldn't get the hang of the combat. It felt clunky to me. It just wasn't clicking in my head. However, once it does click, oh my god. One of the things I loved about the original Black Flag so much was like the power fantasy it gave you. You felt like this badass, like pirate, assassin, sailing the high seas, not taking from nobody. And at first I thought I wasn't gonna like this game because the new combat system wasn't giving me that. But once you give it a couple hours, you know, the neurons start to fire, that mind muscle connection to your fingers is starting to form. Oh, it's great. And the finishers in this game are like the cherry on top. It's so fun. You just walk up to like a group of just like these red coats, taking on all of them at once, hitting combos left and right, tripping this guy here, and then you're like, and then like you see that you're about to get shot, and you just like, dude, it's so sick. It's so sick, actually. So if you're kind of like,
oh, this combat sucks,
I would give yourself some time. All right, what's next? We're running a tight ship here. No loading times. There are no more loading times between like regions. In the old game, like if you were like sailing out and you were about to make it into like a new region of the map, you would have to load into that new region. Now you can just sail around on your boat uninterrupted, and it's sick because now sailing feels less like a chore. I don't mind stopping to these random little islands or like just sailing around chilling while like I watch a YouTube video on the side. And when in the past it was kind of annoying because every few minutes you'd just be hitting the loading screen and it would just kill the momentum. But now I feel like I'm noticing myself slowing down a little bit and exploring more, and I don't know. And I know as I'm saying this, like those features don't sound super crazy or all that great or game changing, but you know, for like a game where like I wasn't expecting anything crazy, I just wanted to play the game I loved like over 10 years ago. You know, like relive that again without it being ruined by like present day problem, you know, or present day issues. And I guess I'm just glad they didn't mess it up. You know what I mean? They not only didn't mess it up, but they improved in pretty much all the areas that I wanted improvements in and didn't touch anything else, you know? And when it comes to a remake, what more could you really ask for? Don't get me wrong, there are some issues with the game. I wouldn't necessarily say they're game breaking. They're just some things you gotta get used to. You know, it has been 13 years. I'm sure some of the people who've worked on the original game have rotated out, have been laid off. Microtransactions. They're not like super offensive, but the fact that they exist is a little insane. As soon as you load up the game, I think one of the first things you're presented with, if I remember correctly, again, I'm not too sure, but you do stumble upon the store page pretty easily. You know, like it's not something you want to see after you know you already paid for like the deluxe in the pre-order. You thought you were already getting some cool skins just for you to open up the game and then get presented with even cooler skins at crazy prices. It's a little disheartening, you know. Something I haven't seen people talk about, I've heard people talk about like not being able to use your wrist blades as like a primary weapon, and I get that. I do miss that. That was so fun. But what I haven't seen people talk about is no wanted system. If I remember correctly, I remember there being like a wanted system in the game. Where was there? There had to be. I remember like if you were killing a bunch of these like enemies, you would build like a reputation for yourself. So like you went from being like if you walked by them they wouldn't care to like now if they see you just walking by it would aggro them. And I think you would have to like take down posters to like bring your level down or like buy somebody off. And I missed that. That was fun. I feel like it added more to like that assassin feeling. You know what I mean? Like, all right, what else is there? Yes. Even though the combat with the learning curve is great, the parkour on the other hand, dude, it just doesn't do what I expect it to do and what I feel like it should do. It feels really clunky. Even when I turned on like the advanced parkour feature, like it still felt like clunky. There's been several moments like this part right here. I feel like I should make that easily and it just decides to like phase right through it. Or there's moments where I'm like running, I like have good momentum, and then I'm like, okay, there should be a jump. This should be easy. I jump and it like goes to the left for some reason. So yeah, that is one where I'm like, dude, what the heck? It's not so awful, but when it's bad, it's bad. So maybe it is awful. There are a couple other things. I think on this other post-it note, I wrote heavy and slow. That's an overall feeling you do encounter while playing this game. At least I remember the older game being a lot faster paced. This remake is one of the more faster paced Assassin's Creed games that have come out. But you know, you still run, I feel like you still run into that like sluggish, slow clunk you feel in like the newer Assassin's Creed. At least I've been feeling in the new Assassin's Creeds. That is something to keep in mind about. As an old fan, it wasn't something that ruined the experience at all, but you know, it is annoying at times. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Overall, I'm gonna give this game a score of certified fun, because it's pretty fun, pretty certified. Yeah, thanks for watching.